We begin this episode with Victor's backstory. We see that he has a high school sweetheart named Graciela and a loving family who wants the best for him. Victor has a brief conversation with his dad about wanting more out of life and asks if he can go and hang out with his friends. We cut to seeing Victor hanging out on top of a nearby building with Graciela. A few friends join them and suddenly a sound of an explosion erupts and causes them to fall to the ground. Victor and Graciela look towards the seawalls in shock from seeing the explosion and water begin to flood their neighborhood. Victor notices the waters heading towards his apartment building. He tried to call his family to warn them to get out of the building, but it was too late. Victor's family dies from the flood. I really enjoyed getting this piece of Victor's backstory. It explains why he was out committing crimes that night. He's a teenager who's an orphan, and he's been left to fend for himself since his parents are no longer alive to care for him. It also shows how the Riddler's actions in the Batman movie affected the lives of the poor civilians in Gotham City. The Riddler is truly evil. The shot transitions into Victor looking out of the window, clearly being deep in his thoughts. Oswald enters the room and begins to explain the plans for today. He informs him Sophia Falcone is on her way. Victor hesitantly asks, "You and Sophia, are we kind of partners now?" The Penguin explains, "Temporarily. Once he figures out she doesn't want to play nice, the Falcones will take care of her for us. I'll be running the whole damn trade." Oswald notices Victor is daydreaming and says, "Kid, where's your head at?" He informs him his mistakes with the jewels and offers him a $1,000 per week salary. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Oswald instructs Victor to answer the door while he takes a call. He opens the door and Sophia simply asks, "Where's Oz?" She looks around the apartment and begins to ask Victor about his background. They briefly chat and Oswald enters the room to greet Sophia. She tells him let's go and informs Victor Oz will be driving her so he can stay behind. She looks at him and says, "Sorry Victor, it's gonna be a long night." She looks at Oswald and says, "Come on, it will be just like old times." The Penguin reluctantly leaves with Sophia and tells Victor, "Stay put. I'll sense it if you do anything stupid." Next, we see Oz and Sophia enter an old warehouse with shipments from Arkham Asylum. As they enter the facility, it's revealed that Sophia has a whole operation going to prepare a new drug for the streets. She reveals to Penguin that it's something they would give patients in Arkham. She informs him she needs him to play his role and find a distributor. He agrees. Victor invites Graciela over to catch up and he's very happy to see her. She tells him she plans on leaving Gotham and that he should come with her. Victor hesitantly explains to her that he can't leave because of the nature of work his employer is involved in. She convinces him to leave with her. He tells her he has to go and gives her money to buy him a bus ticket. I totally think Victor should run away with his high school sweetheart. Next, we see Sophia is entering her room, and that asshole Johnny Vitti approaches her, hands her a plane ticket, and tells her to go to Italy before he has to tell everyone that's what she's done. I can't believe he's threatening her. Johnny Vitti has some damn nerve to be fucking his boss's wife and threatening his niece. I don't see him lasting too long in the series. Sophia and Oswald meet with a potential distributor, who Oz apparently owes money. And they convince him to get them a meeting with his boss so they can market the new drug, Bliss, in his club. He refuses until Oz convinces him he has the backing of Johnny Vitti. Sophia silently looks at him with a slightly annoyed glance, but this convinces the potential distributor to give them a meeting with his boss. While this is happening, Victor had the unfortunate experience of being targeted by a crooked cop, but he quickly got him off his back by allowing him to have the $1,000 he found in his pocket. Later, he tells Oswald the story at a hotel restaurant they appear to be having lunch in, but it's revealed that Oswald is there for another reason. He walks over to Luca's wife, Tina, and tells her, "I need a favor, but it's gonna cost you." Now we see Sophia and Oswald entering a hotel room, and they have officially caught Johnny Vitti in the middle of his adulterous act. I was so happy they got the drop on his ass. The Penguin walks towards him and says, "How's it fucking going, Johnny?" This was the perfect way to force Johnny's hand and make him co-sign the move they're making with the new drug. Johnny refuses at first and begins to verbally degrade Oswald. But after Oz nearly chokes him with the cell phone and threatens to kill him, he tosses him the phone and tells him, "Make the fucking call." Luca makes the call to confirm his approval to the potential distributor. Next, we see the Penguin in his best white suit in the club with Eve Carlo by his side, her girls, and Victor and Sophia. They instruct the girls and Victor on how to distribute the new drug throughout the club. Victor receives a text from Graciela that says, "See you in a few hours." The Penguin notices but keeps it to himself and instructs him to have a presence and take up space as he moves through the club. Sophia meets with the boss, Zal, and begins to explain the effects of the new drug and that it will be quite lucrative. Zal tells her even though she has the support of an underboss, it's still too much of a risk. As she continues to convince Zal to go into business with her, we see that Victor has received another text from Graciela that says, "Heading to the station, you talk to your boss?" Victor is distracted by one of Eve's girls he appears to be interested in, asking for more Bliss to distribute. Victor seems like he's having fun. I have a feeling he's not leaving Gotham tonight. As the music pumps louder and mimics the sound of an explosion, it's revealed that Victor has PTSD from the explosion of the seawalls that killed his family. He falls and the drugs fall out of his bag. Eve's girl snaps him out of it and quickly helps him put the samples back in his bag. He exits the dance floor. We cut to Sophia basically closing her sales pitch to Mr. Zal. She gets up and tells him if he's not interested, she can take her business somewhere else. The Penguin asks, "What the hell are you doing?" She tells him Zal has seen what they have, close the deal or don't, and exits the VIP section. Victor is in the bathroom trying to calm himself down. He gets another text from Graciela that says, "Bus leaves soon, you coming?" The Penguin enters the restaurant and is excited because he closed the deal with Zal. He begins to tell him how proud he is of him for successfully completing his job that night. Victor gets a text notification and Oz tells him to give him the phone. He reads the text message and says, "You going somewhere with my fucking money?" Victor quickly tells him no and begins to explain that he doesn't think he should be a part of this lifestyle. They have an intense argument about life choices and Oz tells him, "No one's giving out awards for dying in the projects." Oswald tells him to leave because he doesn't deserve the opportunity that's in front of him. Victor leaves and drives the Penguin's car to the bus station, but he doesn't get out and just watches his high school sweetheart get on the bus and leave his life. We cut to Oswald sulking and having a drink in the club, clearly saddened by Victor's perceived departure from his life. I knew he got attached to Victor. Next, we see Sophia and Oswald have an honest conversation outside the club. She tells him, "I don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to trust you." Before he could respond, we hear a car quickly brake and it's Nadia Maroney and her crew. She gets out of the vehicle and says, "Oz, you think you can play us? We've been watching you, motherfucker." While this confrontation is happening, we see Victor make his way back to the club. As he pulls up and sees Oswald and Sophia on their knees at gunpoint, Victor makes the decision to purposely crash the Maserati into Nadia Maroney's vehicle to cause a distraction. Oswald quickly jumps in the car and says, "Fucking go now!" Victor asks, "What about Sophia?" Oz responds, "Go, leave her!" Victor speeds off and Oswald laughs gleefully and says, "I knew you would have come back! I knew it! That was incredible, kid! We're in it now, kid! We're in it now!" The episode fades to black. This was another great episode. We got to connect with Victor more by learning his backstory. Also, it was interesting seeing Sophia and Oswald work together. It's clear they have a very complicated relationship. I hope we learn more about what happened between them in a future episode. Nadia Maroney has thrown a monkey wrench in the Penguin's plans, so I can't wait to see how he navigates the situation. Victor clearly made a choice to continue down this path of organized crime, so I'm interested to see how he evolves by the end of the series. Once again, I thought the writing was good and the actors were top tier with their performances. Overall, I rate this episode a solid B. If you liked this review, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.